once a day that I would pray for you. I'd go and misbehave just so you'd notice too. Sneaking looks up and down from across the room. Damn, what a hell of a view. I feel good, you look great, I like you, I can't wait. A first time, a first date, you're so fine, I'm so late. You sip wine, I drink straight, don't waste time to my place. I feel my heart erase, so catch me if I fall.
everyone, and welcome to Forever Sports. As one of the leading channels in the world providing free coverage of all of your favourite sports, we are asking for your support. Everything that we create at Forever Sports is available for free and always will be. To help us continue delivering high quality content, as well as expanding our coverage, we are asking you to consider supporting the channel by becoming a channel member. As part of the Forever Sports Members Club, you will gain access to select perks, such as exclusive stickers and emojis to use during our watch-alongs and live streams. You will also gain early access to premium content, as well as have your name listed on the channel under channel members. We strive to deliver quality content that is unmatched by other channels, and are always looking to take things up another level. And our members give us the chance to do this. It is thanks to our members and other support that we get from our fans that we are able to deliver campaigns such as the France 2023 on the ground coverage. So if you would like to continue supporting the channel and the free coverage that it provides, be sure to check the link in the description to become a channel member now. Hello and welcome, my name is Reese and today I'm going to be speaking to you about one of our channel partners, BITDEFENDER. Forever Sports is proudly supported by BITDEFENDER, one of the global leaders in cybersecurity. Stay safe with the most consistently top-rated antivirus of the last 10 years and counting. To protect yourself from cyber attacks, protect your browsing and personal information, and so much more, get BITDEFENDER. With BITDEFENDER's premium VPN, digital privacy and freedom is as easy as flicking on a light switch. Bank, stream, and download without exposing a single byte of personal information. Unblock your favorite streaming sites and get access to content that you want to watch on up to 10 devices today. Effective, invisible, and amazingly affordable. Use the link in the description to get started.
There was once a day that I would pray for you. I'd go and misbehave just so you'd notice too. Sneaking looks up and down from across the room. Damn, what a hell of a view. I feel good, you look great. I like you, I can't wait. A first time, a first date. You're so fine, I'm so late. You sip wine, I drink straight. Don't waste time to my place. I feel my heart erase. So catch me if I fall. Praying that this night's gonna last. You got it all on tap. I'm loving your vibe, always have your back. We like all the same tracks. Listen all night in the sheets all black. Said I'm falling fast. Don't remember life before you, that's fact. I feel good, you look great. I like you, I can't wait. A first time, a first date. You're so fine, I'm so late. You sip wine, I drink straight. Don't waste time to my place. I feel my heart erase. So catch me if I fall.
Welcome to our overview of the latest Formula One car updates for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. Let's get into it. Red Bull has made significant updates to their car, including changes to the front wing, floor edge, rear corner, and nose. The front wing's end plate leading edge has been repositioned and flap elements redesigned to extend the cord. The floor edge has been adjusted to extract more load while maintaining flow stability. Additionally, the floor body has been slightly lowered to improve flow to downstream parts. Mercedes has focused on enhancing flow conditioning and cooling with updates to the floor fences, rear wing, beam wing, and front corner. The floor fences have been slightly modified to improve flow quality to the rear, enhancing diffuser and rear load. Mercedes has also introduced a new biplane beam wing to improve efficiency and interaction with the upper wing and diffuser. Ferrari has introduced updates to the front wing, rear wing, side pod inlet, floor edge, and diffuser to improve drag reduction and local load. The front wing has a revised flap profile and tip details. Ferrari's new side pod inlet and reduced engine cover volume improve flow quality, while the revised floor edge enhances energy delivery to the diffuser. McLaren has introduced new rear wing and beam wing assemblies designed to increase downforce and overall efficiency for low isochronal circuits. Aston Martin has made changes to the front wing, nose, floor body, floor fences, and rear suspension to enhance local load and performance. The front wing's central section has been revised and the nose tip has been modified to suit these changes. Aston Martin's diffuser and rear corner have been reshaped to enhance flow characteristics and load generation. Alpine is testing a new floor edge stay to increase floor stiffness and reduce deflection at high speeds. Williams has focused on reducing the mass of their floor body through laminate changes without compromising aerodynamic performance. Sauber has extended their floor fences and made changes to the forward floor volume to increase downforce and improve aerodynamic efficiency. Haas has reshaped their front wing end plate, top wishbone fairings, and rear corner to improve flow conditioning and local load. In summary, each team has made significant updates to their cars for the Imola Grand Prix, focusing on performance enhancements, aerodynamic efficiency, and cooling improvements. Be sure to follow the race to see how these changes play out on the track.
Hello everyone and welcome to Forever Sports. As one of the leading channels in the world providing free coverage of all of your favourite sports, we are asking for your support. Everything that we create at Forever Sports is available for free and always will be. To help us continue delivering high quality content, as well as expanding our coverage, we are asking you to consider supporting the channel by becoming a channel member. As part of the Forever Sports Members Club, you will gain access to select perks, such as exclusive stickers and emojis to use during our watch-alongs and live streams. You will also gain early access to premium content, as well as have your name listed on the channel under channel members. We strive to deliver quality content that is unmatched by other channels, and are always looking to take things up another level. And our members give us the chance to do this. It is thanks to our members and other support that we get from our fans that we are able to deliver campaigns such as the France 2023 on the ground coverage. So if you would like to continue supporting the channel and the free coverage that it provides, be sure to check the link in the description to become a channel member now. Hello and welcome, my name is Reese and today I'm going to be speaking to you about one of our channel partners, BITDEFENDER. Forever Sports is proudly supported by BITDEFENDER, one of the global leaders in cybersecurity. Stay safe with the most consistently top-rated antivirus of the last 10 years and counting. To protect yourself from cyber attacks, protect your browsing and personal information, and so much more, get BITDEFENDER. With BITDEFENDER's premium VPN, digital privacy and freedom is as easy as flicking on a light switch. Bank, stream, and download without exposing a single byte of personal information. Unblock your favorite streaming sites and get access to content that you want to watch on up to 10 devices today. Effective, invisible, and amazingly affordable. Use the link in the description to get started.
There was once a day that I would pray for you. I'd go and misbehave just so you'd notice too. Sneaking looks up and down from across the room. Damn, what a hell of a view. I feel good, you look great. I like you, I can't wait. A first time, a first date. You're so fine, I'm so late. You sip wine, I drink straight. Don't waste time to my place. I feel my heart erase. So catch me if I fall. Praying that this night's gonna last. You got it all on tap. I'm loving your vibe, always have your back. We like all the same tracks. Listen all night in the sheets all black. Said I'm falling fast. Don't remember life before you, that's facts. I feel good, you look great. I like you, I can't wait. A first time, a first date. You're so fine, I'm so late. You sip wine, I drink straight. Don't waste time to my place. I feel my heart erase. So catch me if I fall.
Hello and welcome to Forever Motorsports ahead of qualifying. It is going to be a very exciting session ahead of us with Max Verstappen and Red Bull in general struggling on the soft tyres, not getting a clean run in at the end, just missing out on doing a qualifying run because of that red flag caused by Sergio Perez. So it is all still to play for out here in Imola in qualifying this afternoon. The McLarens are tipped to be the fastest of them all. We're certainly going to have to wait and see if that is true. And if it is, which of these two McLarens are going to top the timing sheets? We've been seeing that Oscar Piastri's got some really, really good qualifying pace around here this weekend compared to his teammate Lando Norris. But can Lando Norris just pull something out of the hat at the last second, as we've seen him do in the past, and just top his teammate there at the end of qualifying. It's going to be an interesting hour ahead of us. Do be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you have not already, as we get closer towards the start of this with 13 minutes left to go now. So we've also got a poll running at the moment saying who will finish in pole position. Your options are Verstappen, Leclerc, Piastri and Norris. Currently 25% for Verstappen, 50% for Leclerc, 25% for Piastri, and nothing, shockingly, for Norris. So I don't really know. Between the two, my producer and I were just speaking about it, saying who is the faster between the two. He thinks that it's going to go Piastri's way. I seem to agree with him this weekend. He just seems to have that pace and the stability around the circuit in his car. The McLaren's clearly making a big step forward with their upgrades. Speaking of a big step forward, though, and we're looking at their top driver, Charles Leclerc, Ferrari have brought those inverted side pods here to Imola, and they have certainly worked over the Red Bulls, the McLarens, the Mercedes, and the rest of the grid. So could they be able to take it away from Red Bull this weekend? Max Verstappen chasing his 7th qualifying pole position of the season, hoping to break that record, but can Charles Leclerc or one of the McLaren drivers steal that away? I'm still waiting to see, though, with the likes of Fernando Alonso. He had a crash at the end of FP3, destroyed the rear end of his car, broke the rear wing as well. And we're waiting to see whether they are going to be able to get into the session. I'm certainly hoping they are. It would be a pity if he is not able to do it. Just looking at all the Ferrari fans currently in the grandstands, a lot of support in red this weekend. Of course, it is not only Monza that we get being the home of Ferrari fans. This is also one of the other home tracks for Ferrari. So great to see so many Tifosi out in the grandstands here in Imola. Pure Blood with their predictions saying Piastri P1, Lando P2, Sainz P3. Really interesting prediction there from Pure Blood. Be sure to give me your predictions down in the comment section, as well as let me know who you are rooting for in qualifying today. We're watching Carlos Sainz getting ready to go out on circuit. He is, of course, one of the many drivers paying tribute to Ayrton Senna this weekend with a Ayrton Senna tribute balaclava. We've also got drivers running Ayrton Senna tribute helmets with the likes of Pierre Gasly. Just, of course, you can't come to Imola without remembering Ayrton Senna and Roland Ratzenberger, who lost their lives here and essentially paved the way for safety in motorsport. As Mark Spock says, let's go. Wouldn't it be great to see Ferrari win in Italy again? It has been so long. It certainly would be great to see them winning around here in Imola. The scenes would be fantastic in the grandstands. Just looking at Lewis Hamilton having a feel around his steering wheel right now, maybe having a look at something that he wants changed in the garage right now. I don't necessarily know what he is looking at, but having a look at his steering wheel with his engineer. Mercedes have also brought upgrades this race weekend. We're hoping they're able to make a bit of a step forward. They seem to be with about the top 5, but still not necessarily able to take those top steps just yet. I don't necessarily know how long it's going to take Mercedes to get back to the form of old, but we're watching with Lando Norris now walking to the grid, just taking some pictures with fans. He is going to get into his car very, very shortly and get ready to go out on circuit with 9 minutes left to go till the first qualifying session gets underway. Sergio Perez also had a crash at the end of FP3, bringing out that red flag. I did mention it briefly, but he will also be having to take on some new parts for the session. Hopefully Red Bull has enough of their new spec parts to be able to give him a new front wing without jeopardizing the strategy for the rest of the session as well as the race on Sunday, because of course that wouldn't be great if either one of them has to be at risk of taking an older spec part because they have now destroyed the only ones that they have. George Russell jumping into his Mercedes right now as we're getting
Hello everyone
the
and welcome
timing
to Forever
boards now
Sports.
brought up
As one of the
ahead
leading
this
channels
session.
in the world providing free coverage of all of your favourite sports, we are asking for your support. Everything that we create at Forever Sports is available for free and always will be.
Be sure to like
To
the
help
video
us
and
continue delivering high
subscribe to the
quality
channel
content,
if you are
as well
new,
as expanding our coverage, we are asking you to
check
consider
out
supporting
our
the
channel
channel by
partners
becoming
down
a
in the
channel member.
description below.
As part of the Forever Sports Members Club,
For
you will
all of
gain
your
access to
cybersecurity
select
needs,
perks,
Adventurous Nomad
such as
says your
exclusive
poll doesn't
stickers
give
and
an option for
emojis to
Carlos
use during our
Sainz, who
watchalongs
will
and live
finish on
streams.
pole. Lots
You will also
of
gain
confidence
early
for
access
Carlos
to
Sainz
premium
as we watch
content,
that
as well as have
incident.
your name listed on the
For
channel under
Fernando
channel members.
Alonso, where
We
he
strive
went
to deliver
careering
quality
into the
content
wall,
that is
unfortunately.
unmatched by other
Well,
channels, and are
Adventurous
always
Nomad,
looking to take
normally
things
when
up another
your
level.
option isn't
And our
available in the
members
poll,
give us
then
the
you let
chance
us
to do
know
this.
down in the comment
It
section
is
below,
thanks to our
as you have
members
done.
and
Thank
other
you for
support that we get from
doing
our
that.
fans
Our
that we
poll
are able
currently
to
has
deliver campaigns
33%
such as the France
showing for
2023
Verstappen,
on the ground
54%
coverage.
for Leclerc,
So if you
8%
would
for
like to continue
Piastri, and
supporting the channel and
4%
the free
for
coverage
Lando
that it
Norris.
provides,
Not a lot of confidence in the McLarens this afternoon, but I think they're really going to put up the fight with the top spots today. They were really quick in all of the practice sessions this afternoon and yesterday afternoon, as the percentages are swaying a little bit more towards Leclerc now, with 56% going towards him. Hamilton has his helmet on now. He's getting ready to get in his car. The Mercedes, we were talking about them briefly, saying that they have brought upgrades. They are hoping to make a step forward. Russell was P5 at the end of FP3, but what will they be able to do in the race? That is where it all really matters. They seem to be struggling a little bit with their stability and braking zones. We'll have to wait and see how they do in qualifying, with 5 minutes and 55 seconds. Now, as Cora jumps into the chat saying, hello, everyone, be sure to let me know down in the chat where you're from and who you are supporting. So, as I've said, not long left to get going for this session now. All of the teams that have brought major upgrades this race weekend will be hoping that theirs has done the work for them. Williams have brought upgrades. McLaren have brought upgrades to both of the cars, continuing on from Miami, as well as Red Bull, Mercedes, and Ferrari have also brought upgrades to this race weekend. Who will be the top who will be on top at the end of the session, though? Ferrari certainly looking like they've got some great one lap pace today. Piastri and Norris and the McLarens too will be putting their names near the top of the timing boards, but where will they be? Will Verstappen be able to pick up the pieces from a bit of a difficult weekend, struggling with stability as well in his team? So has Sergio Perez. Also going down a little bit further the grid, Yuki Tsunoda had some great pace out yesterday in FP2, as well as has Daniel Ricciardo in FP3 today, who will be the top of the VCARB drivers this afternoon, both fighting it out to be at that number one driver position in that team. Also, as we spoke about, Williams did bring some upgrades this weekend. Hopefully that will allow Alex Albon to qualify a little bit higher up the order, as would be the same for Logan Sargent, who has been near the end of the grid for the majority of this season. We're looking ready to get started here at the 7th round of the Formula One season in 2024, and looking at some stats around this circuit. The track distance is 4.9 kilometers, with full throttle being set at 63% of the track's top speed, being 345 kilometers an hour, with 19 turns and an elevation of 34.45 meters. The tyres that we have around the circuit this weekend are the softest of the Pirelli compounds, the C5, the C4 and the C3 compounds. The C4 and C3 will be probably the best options for the race tomorrow, if not the C4 and the C2, or the C4 and the C3. So we'll wait and see what happens here. Getting ready for the start of qualifying. Just under 3 minutes left to get going, as we have Lindiwe joining in the chat in a row as well. And Pure Blood just saying hello to Cora there. So let me know down in the comment section, Lindiwe, Narol, Pure Blood, Cora, who you are all rooting for today. I know who Adventurous Nomad is rooting for. That certainly looks set to be Carlos Sainz, as well as be sure to vote in our poll for everyone else who has not done that as of yet. If you did not watch FP3, then you will be surprised to know that, of course, we had some drama at the end of that session with Fernando Alonso crashing out at turn 18. And then we also had Sergio Perez going a little bit too high over the curb in turn 14, losing it into turn 15, not being able to correct the car, and sent himself careering wing first into the barriers. Unfortunately, that was the end of his session and caused the red flag. Some drivers were able to get final quali runs in. The Red Bull of Max Verstappen, unfortunately, was not. He was quick on the medium tires in that FP3 session, but we do not know what he will be able to do on the soft tires. So it is a little bit of an interesting session ahead of us. The Ferraris are looking fast. The McLarens are looking fast. The Red Bulls, we expect them to be within the mix, but where? So we've got a few more comments. Adventurous Nomad saying hello from an even warmer Kenya, and Max says, when does Quali start? Quali starts in just under a minute's time, as the wind conditions have picked up a little bit from that first session. 9 kilometers now dropping to 7 kilometers an hour in the southeasterly direction. That is what caused some of the drivers to have issues in turn 18 with the crosswind. As we see Pierre Gasly, the first driver, lined up by the end of the pit lane, waiting for that green light to be shown. Coloina saying hello from Madagascar. Thank you very much for joining us in the session. As Gareth Peters also says, hello guys from Central South Africa. I myself am joining you from Johannesburg. So be sure to let me know where you're all watching from. Crow says hello from a rainy Canada. Well, in Italy at the moment, it is nice and sunny. Track temperature 43 degrees Celsius, air temperature 24.1 degrees Celsius. As we're getting tires being put on one of the Red Bull cars, still work being done on Alonso's car. Looks like they're just finishing up though, tightening the final bolts. That is great work from the Aston Martin mechanics. Bob saying Leclerc will get pole, but Max will win the race. A bold prediction there. We'll wait and see what happens, as now the green flag is shown for the start of qualifying 1. Be sure to let me know in the comment section where you're from, who you're supporting, and who you think will qualify at the top of the timing boards. Leonardo is saying hello from hosting Italy. I hope you're out there watching in Imola. I almost had the opportunity to go last year, but unfortunately because of the floods, that was not meant to be. But we'll have to wait and see what happens here this weekend. All of the drivers now getting out onto circuit. We're watching, I think that is George Russell waiting at the end of the pit lane to get out on circuit. Lewis Hamilton still in his garage waiting for a gap to get out on circuit now. Brand new shiny soft tires on the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton. Narol Pulchita saying let's go Max. Mimi saying my bet on Lando for some reason. I would not question that all too much. The McLarens have shown some great qualifying and race pace. Debate and Law says the Netherlands. So Max, great to have you in our stream at the moment. Lewis Hamilton lining up at the end of the grid, just doing a little bit of a burnout and finding himself a gap to go out on circuit. Be sure to hit the like button on our stream. We've only got 13 likes, but over 100 of you watching. Be sure to hit that like button so it helps us get recommended a little bit more. We're watching now the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc getting ready to go out on circuit. So hearing that there is a lot of talk around the grid of a possible McLaren pole position today, it certainly looks possible. They've shown some great pace around this circuit this weekend. From Oscar Piastri, from Lando Norris, it is so difficult to split the hairs between those two drivers right now. I think, in my opinion, I bet on Oscar Piastri. But I don't think you can discount Lando Norris. But we'll have to wait and see what happens with Max Verstappen as well. He has not set any indicative times as of yet today on those soft tyres. They seem to fix the instability issues a little bit more with him on the medium tyres, but they struggled a lot yesterday on those soft tyres. Max Verstappen is still in the pits. We're waiting for him to get out on circuit, as Heartthrob says, hello from southwest of England. Thank you very much for joining, as Stefan Edman joins us once again in the chat. George Russell on a hot lap right now, coming through the first sector. You can really see from the driver's eye view how bumpy it is around the circuit. He comes through the first sector marker now with a 24.0 purple for himself, as Bob says, Sharjah from the UAE. Perez coming through Piratella, very tricky left-hand corner after coming up the uphill. Now coming through Aqua Minerale, the tricky down right-hand braking zone up the hill once again, and then approaching the really difficult 14 and 15, where we saw Sergio Perez go off in free practice 3. He goes personal best in the middle section, not purple, but we'll have to see what he can do. He's on a set of medium tyres, so drivers not going out on the softs from the beginning of the session, maybe just looking after an extra set of soft tyres for later on. Old Man Roo saying hello from a freezing cold East Coast, Australia, cheering for Oscar and Danny Rick. George Russell, though, does not finish his lap. He dives into the pit lane. Isabella saying hello from the Netherlands, as Azari saying good night from Malaysia. Looking at Carlos Sainz's previous couple of finishes, he's done really well in the past few races. What can he do here? One of only 2 drivers to win so far this season. Silent Bob saying South Germany is still there. Sainz going well through the first sector, but 0.4 down on Esteban Ocon's time. Esteban being on a set of soft tyres ahead of Lewis Hamilton, though, 0.07 ahead of him. Stroll in third, Magnussen fourth, Gasly fifth, Hulkenberg sixth, Sainz to the rest of the grid. No times set, as now the 2 Red Bulls, Norris, Show all head out onto circuit. Leclerc and Sainz now out on circuit, not setting any purple sectors, but they are on medium tyres, deciding to look after their soft tyres for a little bit later in the session. Coming through the second to last corner now is Carlos Sainz. DRS opens, crosses the line, and he goes up into 4th place on those mediums with a 116.9. Where does Leclerc finish? He comes through turn 18, approaches the DRS, opens it, crosses the line, and he goes first on a set of mediums with a 116.4. Brilliant lap time from Charles Leclerc. Hot Throb says, rooting for Max and Red Bull tomorrow, hoping for Max to get pulled. Alex Albon goes wide into turn 18. A tricky corner where we've seen people go wide quite often. He had a fastest first sector, but only puts himself up into P9. Strong saying, let's go, Carlos, praying from Indonesia, as we're watching Lando Norris on a set of soft tyres, setting the fastest middle sector, approaching the final sector now through turn 17. Coming now through turn 18, the tricky corner. Big snap of oversteer, though, as he comes through the middle of the corner. DRS open, cross the line, and he still finishes first for good measure. But he did have that big moment in the second to last corner. So still some lap time in hand for Lando Norris. Just watching this moment again from Alex Albon coming into turn 18, hits the apex of 18 beautifully, but just gets a snap of oversteer into the gravel on the runoff zone. 11 drivers still yet to put a time on the board. Verstappen now coming through the first sector on a set of soft tyres, 0.093 up on Lando in that first sector. Looking maybe a bit more composed this session on those soft tyres. What can Max do now coming through Piratella? Towards turn 11, 12 and 13, Aqua Minerali, the really difficult braking zone downhill and then the run uphill again. Looking composed, not as snappy as he's had early on in this race weekend. 0.1 up on Lando Norris now in the middle sector through 14 and 15. Runs it very neatly on the track limits, 250 kilometers, 70, 80 now, approaching turn 17, almost 300 kilometers an hour into the braking zone. Now through the tricky turn 18 where we've seen people dip their wheel into the gravel, stays well within the lines, opens his DRS now, crosses the line, and he takes first place away from Lando Norris by 0.1 seconds, finally able to hook up those soft tyres. But Oscar Piastri is now following, and he's up in the first sector. Lindy, we're saying the wind is on serious business today. I've never seen so many cars slip and slide around the track. It's currently 13 kilometers an hour, so it's really causing some traffic or some issues in that final sector. Piastri waiting for the second sector marker. He's up by 0.1 on Verstappen now. Will he be able to continue this into that final sector? It is looking so close between so many drivers right now out on circuit. The top four split by 0.4 seconds rather, should I say. But Charles Leclerc has still yet to set a lap time on a set of soft tyres, as has Carlos Sainz. Piastri now opening his DRS and crossing the line. Where does he put himself? Up into P1, 0.073 ahead of Max Verstappen. Brilliant from the young Australian driver. Carrying on where he left off at the end of free practice 3 at the top of the timing boards, just watching Max Verstappen coming through turn 14 and 15 all over those curbs, sending his car flying a little bit, maybe a little bit more time to find for Max, but so far Piastri with the upper hand. I did say those two McLarens could have something to play with here today. Gasly with his Senna crash helmet for this race weekend coming through Tamburello, approaching that first sector marker. What can he do in his Alpine? George Russell moves himself up into P3 with a 116.1. Bob saying holy Piastri. Tsunoda now up into P5. Yellow flag in sectors 1 and 2. Someone has gone off. Green flag being shown once again, so clearly not going into the wall. Crow saying, let's go George, as Gasly sets the fastest middle sector out on circuit, but that gets stolen from him by waiting to see who that's been stolen by. As Jonathan says, Piastri for pole. Piastri now dives into the pits as Sainz now sets himself up into P3 on a set of medium tyres. So clearly this track evolving very, very quickly. As Old Man Roo says, McLaren are on form today. Leclerc improves his lap time up to P5, 0.1 off of the lap time of Piastri. Hamilton approaching the start-finish line. Can he improve? No, he improves his lap time, but not his position. Daniel Ricciardo down in 14th place right now. Just hearing that there's a possibility that Gasly cut the chicane into Variante Alta, so that might be why he has that purple middle sector and they took it away from him. Adventurous Nomad saying Ferrari are really saving those soft tyres. They certainly are. And Leonardo saying Ferrari are out for a bet. And as Fernando Alonso goes off into the gravel, said flying and bouncing all over the place. Luckily, still not into the barriers, but after Tamburello really sent into the gravel there. Hopefully that is no damage for Alonso, as Lindsay West says, you're Alonso in the chat. Certainly looking a little bit scary for him. Just watching this replay now, I think he has to, yes, he gets to pass some traffic, comes into the first chicane, just can't get the turn tight enough into the right-hander, goes over the curb, gets sent on a bit of a skateboarding trip, and then gets sent and shot into the gravel, unfortunately. Luckily, doesn't look like there's any damage to the car, so hopefully he can continue out on circuit. JP saying Alonso enjoying a bit of 4x4ing this weekend. As Bob says, is this the second or third time Alonso's off the track now? I think it's the second time, if I'm not correct. Current driver at risk of being dropped out of the session is Kevin Magnussen in 15th place, Alonso 16th, Hulkenberg 17th, Zhou 18th, and the two Williams are yet to set a lap time. Albon is out on circuit now, though, starting a flying lap for himself. The Williams clearly waiting to let the track evolve a little bit more before they went out on their soft tyres. 4 minutes now remaining of this qualifying lap, of this qualifying session, should I say. Bob asking what happened to Behrman. Behrman was only in for FP1 in this race weekend. Albon coming through the middle sector now, approaching Aqua Minerali. Going up the hill now. Will he be able to keep it nice and neat? Yes, he does. Approaching turns 14 and 15 now, 0.1 up on Magnussen's time. The driver who he needs to beat. Albon now coming through turn 18, where he dipped a wheel into the gravel earlier. He keeps it within the racing lines now. DRS is open. He crosses the line and he goes up into P12 ahead of Hamilton. So good lap time from himself. The new driver at risk is Daniel Ricciardo. Mara says Yuki and Fred and Charles will be cooking this weekend. We'll have to wait and see who is able to make some good positions up in this qualifying session. Just watching a replay of Lando Norris going over the curb in turns 14 and 15. Jonathan Penrose saying things sure changing in Formula One. It certainly is, as Lando Norris has the fastest lap time of a 1:15.9, 0.025 ahead of his teammate Oscar Piastri. Verstappen is now on an outlap on a new set of softs, so what will he be able to do in retaliation to the two McLarens? Alonso was 0.068 down on Ricciardo in the first sector, but he has now backed off of his lap. 2 minutes left of this session. So those still at risk right now, Magnussen, Alonso, Hulkenberg, Zhou, and Sargent is still yet to set a lap time. Watching now with Zhou coming through turn 6, approaching that sector marker, 0.1 up on Ricciardo right now. As Bob says, either McLaren drivers are in form or the engineers are working overtime. I think it's a combination of both right now. Zhou Guanyu desperate to get out of that bottom 5. Daniel Ricciardo is still that driver at risk. He is going to be desperately fighting out there to make sure he doesn't get dropped out of this session with his teammate all the way up into P8. We're expected Tsunoda maybe to do something special this weekend. Daniel Ricciardo just needs to be able to match his teammate as Zhou comes through the final sector now through turn 18. Ocon moves himself up into P9. Zhou Guanyu opens his DRS and across the line, not able though to improve enough to get out of the session. Hulkenberg down in P20 sets the fastest middle sector as Sargent moves himself up into P14, gets dropped down to P15. Bottas proves and puts himself up into P14. Hulkenberg now coming across the line. He goes fastest with a 1:15.8. Brilliant from Nico Hulkenberg in the Haas. Certainly was not expecting that from Nico Hulkenberg. Daniel Ricciardo is on for a personal best right now. 0.4 up on Bottas. Verstappen was purple in the first sector, yellow in the second sector now, but he just needs to improve on his final sector. Verstappen getting very, very close to the edge in turn 18. Cross the line, and he now goes first with the 1:15.762. Ricciardo has a great lap at the end, puts himself up into 7th with a 1:17. Tsunoda, his teammate behind. What can he do? He's approaching the start-finish line. He finishes now, puts himself up into 3rd with a 1:15.8. Brilliant from Yuki. Alonso, though, is out of this session, all the way down in P20. Difficult day for Fernando Alonso, having the crash at the end of FP3 and now out at the end of Q1. Very, very disappointing for the champion of Fernando Alonso not to be able to get out of Q1 here today. After all of the work from his mechanics being able to get that car repaired, unfortunately, he was not able to string a lap good enough together today. Logan Sargent having a better qualifying session today up in P17. Still not good enough, though, to get out into Q2. Alex Albon, though, his teammate, being able to. Lewis Hamilton, so close to being dropped out. 0.018, I think it is the margin between him and Bottas, and that is the dropout zone. Don't know what is going on in the Mercedes garage. It has been so close out here in Imola. Mara saying Yuki is in the zone and has been in the zone since Miami. He deserves more recognition. Well, he's certainly gaining the attention of many right now. We're watching Magnussen gaining traffic. He says, I can't believe this, man. This is unreal. Bob questioning that Hulkenberg is currently 2nd, as Molly saying double McLaren. Bob, and that is it for Q1. It certainly is. But Verstappen, Leclerc, Hulkenberg are the top 3 at the end. Lewis Hamilton, once again, just so close to having been eliminated from the session. Hopefully, he will be able to string it together. Just hearing that Piastri may have gotten in the way of someone, and there may be a 3-place grid penalty coming for him because of it. Gareth Peters is saying, McLaren are looking really good. You cannot write Max off, though. We have the makings of an entertaining season. Well, that is certainly what I am hoping for, Gareth, is that the Red Bulls get some competition finally. It is what we've been asking for. It is but what we've been waiting for in Formula One, for a multiple team fight and a multiple team battle for the championship. Not only the drivers, but also the constructors. Red Bull have started to run away from everyone else, but we are only in round 7 of 24 for this season. Daniel Ricciardo, P9 at the end of this first session. Really good qualifying pace from him. Hopefully he can pick it up a little bit more and match what his teammate is doing. So we're really hoping that we have not lost Piastri from contention for pole position here today because of a possible penalty. But we'll have to wait and see what the verdict is from the FIA. Just looking at some fantastic views of the houses that look over this historic Imola circuit. Can you imagine living next to this place? You have free Formula One seats for life if you have a house right next to the Imola circuit, and you have multiple other forms of motorsport that take place around here. John saying Norris, Verstappen, Piastri final qualifying results. Thank you for letting me know your predictions. Be sure to drop your predictions down in the comment section if you would like to let me know, as there is a tribute to Ronan Ratzenberger being paid on Yuki Tsunoda's car this weekend. As Pureblood says, this round you lose 5 slowest, next round Q2 you lose the next 5, and then the Q3 from the next top 10 fight out for the final top 10 positions. Yes, thank you very much for educating some of our newer viewers down in the comment section, as well as if you have any questions, be sure to let me know and I will help out as much as I can. Let's see what happens in this next session now, as we have just a few minutes left to go until we get going. Pure Blood, you gave me a small heart attack there. Thank you for letting me know that it's not on my side. As Bob also just saying their predictions with Max, Leclerc, and Norris, and then changing their mind to Leclerc, Max, Norris. Well, we'll have to wait and see what happens here. Sergio Perez not being able to match the pace of those near the top. He qualified only P12 in this last qualifying session, really struggling for pace in his car. Marnix just giving their support for Max by singing Max's theme song, and Pureblood also just sweating a little bit, as I was when he thought I was muted. Hamilton comes on the radio saying, "Where is everyone?" Everyone else is still in the garage, but Hamilton is getting some clean air out on circuit right now. Pureblood giving their predictions: Piastri, Norris, and Sainz. Says Jonathan Penrose says Piastri, Verstappen, Leclerc. Lots of great predictions in our comment section right now. Be sure to let me know who you are supporting and predicting will be at the top of the timing boards. And we're saying amazing that Hulkenberg's one-lap performance, or amazing one-lap performance for Hulkenberg. For someone who has never raced at the track before, Hulkenberg is doing incredible stuff. He certainly is. Verstappen has now left the pits and gone out onto circuit, so it is not just the Mercedes on track anymore. Certainly great to see the Haas's finding some pace as well this race weekend. As Bob asked you, I think that the Hulkenberg will make it into the top 5. I don't necessarily think so. The top 5 is really quite competitive at the moment, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. Perez also now leaving the pits as we're watching George Russell's first attempt at a hot lap in this Q2 session. Russell purple in the first sector. 12 minutes remaining of this session. Russell now coming through Aqua Minerale, waiting for his time to be displayed, what he does through there. A 50.3 in that middle sector. Now pushing on to the final sector now through the Variante Alta. Hamilton has stolen the fastest middle sector away from Russell now as Russell comes through turn 18, approaches 19 and crosses the line with a 116.2. Hamilton now as well coming to the final sector. What can he do? Really looking quite hooked up through turn 18. Opens the DRS, crosses the line, takes first position away with a 116.1. Verstappen though up in the first sector, 23. What will Verstappen do as he is now coming through the second sector through Paratella, turn 9. Really well within the track limits now through Aqua Minerale, 11, 12, and 13. Through the uphill sector, so stable through there. Now approaching 14 and 15. Once again, very stable through there, up on Hamilton's lap time. Through the final 2 sectors towards Ravata, turn 18, still well within the track limits, slightly wide off the apex in turn 18. Heading towards the line, crosses it and takes first position away with a 115.3, 0.8 ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Perez finishes second, 0.4 behind Max Verstappen. Hulkenberg now finishes in third, 0.7 behind Verstappen. So still not necessarily on the pace are the two Mercedes, maybe just running out of sync a little bit and struggling without the more evolved track maybe, as George Russell now dives into the pits. Gasly now coming out onto circuit. Hamilton, Russell, and Albon are still in the pits as we have a bunch of people doing out laps. Watching Carlos Sainz now setting himself up to start a lap. Coming through turn 19, opens the DRS and starts a lap now. Let's see what he can do in retaliation to Max Verstappen's 115.3 for the current top spot. Through turns 3 and 4, approaching 5. Piastri also starting a hot lap now. Sainz 0.1 down on Verstappen through sector 1. As Verstappen dives into the pits now. Waiting for Piastri, 0.05 down on Max Verstappen, a lot closer than Carlos Sainz, as Leclerc is also 0.06 down on Verstappen in the first sector as Perez dives into the pits too. Verstappen still ever so slightly with the upper hand. What can the rest of these drivers do in the middle sector? Carlos Sainz 0.3 down on Verstappen. Piastri waiting for him to come through that middle sector marker. 0.003 down on Verstappen. Fastest middle sector though for Piastri. Leclerc waiting for him. He's the next one. 0.03 up on Verstappen. So still to fight for between these drivers. Sainz crosses the line at second place. Fastest final sector for himself. Piastri now is the next one to approach the start-finish line. Where will he put himself? He's still second place now. Next up then is Charles Leclerc. Leclerc crosses the line. He takes first place away from Max Verstappen by 0.058 seconds as Lando Norris is coming through the final sector now. It is so close between these top drivers. Lando Norris with a little bit of oversteer through turn 18, approaching the start-finish line. He goes up to fourth behind his teammate Yuki Tsunoda now coming through the final sector as well. Tsunoda's gone fastest in the first sector. Coming through turn 18 now, Ravazza crossing the start-finish line. He goes second ahead of Max Verstappen in the V-Carb. Brilliant from Yuki Tsunoda. Yuki Tsunoda on merit, on the soft tyres, ahead of Max Verstappen in the sister team. Phenomenal from Yuki Tsunoda. Certainly not what I was expecting here today. Bob going, wow. Leonardo also reacting to Yuki Tsunoda. As Jonathan Benrose saying, go for Piastri. Adventurous Nomad still saying, go for Leclerc. And Yuki also saying, Yuki, wow. Yuki is certainly having a great season at the moment, just dominating Daniel Ricciardo, who's down on P8. Still a good qualifying lap time from Ricciardo, but phenomenal from Yuki Tsunoda. It is the V-Carb team's home race this weekend. They are based about 10 miles away from the circuit. Nadak saying it is extremely delayed between the stats and commentary. Yes, it is, but that is how we get it on our side, so please just bear with it. As Crow says, let's go George Russell. Mara saying Yuki and Leclerc podium would kill, and the delusions are deluding so hard. It is certainly looking super competitive between the top five. All split by 0.1 seconds. The top four split by 0.079 seconds. It is absolutely phenomenal to see so many drivers split by absolutely nothing. Bob saying V-Carb is really one of a kind, at least its drivers are right now. Well, they are the sister team to Red Bull. They seem to be picking up the pace on their side, as Cora also says Delulu is the solution to Mara. But we've got one of the Mercedes in the dropout zone with Russell. Hamilton on the brink as well. Albon's currently on an outlap, down in 15th position. As we've got Stroll in 14th, the two Alpines in 13th and 12th. So those are our bottom five who are currently at risk of being dropped out of this session. So possibly that call to go early from Mercedes to get in those banker laps was the wrong decision, because now they are sitting in that 10th and 11th place. So they might just want to go out a little bit later now near the end of the session with 4 minutes and 40 seconds left to go, so that they can take advantage of the more evolved track. As Albon's going out on circuit, 0.1 ahead of the driver he has to get past, which is Lewis Hamilton, who's also leaving the pits now. Pureblood saying, I wonder if a sub 1.15 is possible. Or 1.15 rather, sorry. Albon ever so slightly down on Hamilton now in the second sector. Old Man Roo saying Yuki is hitting some consistent good form. He certainly is, and it is what he needs to put out of the bag if he wants to get into that sister team of Red Bull. Albon getting a little bit close to track limits in turn 18. He improves, but not well enough. Still behind George Russell. Only good enough for 12th place, 0.003 behind Russell. Gareth Peterson saying Imola has not disappointed so far. Senna would approve. Mario saying every session I get more insane. I swear, if Charles wins, I will make a Fred shrine. As Silent Bob says, Hulkenberg, who is currently in P9. Nidak saying that Max has a simulator at home. He knows what he wants. A 1:14.9 is probably his goal. Well, we know Max Verstappen has also taken part in the 24 Hours of Nürburgring this weekend. He did say that Red Bull, he knows Red Bull, his schedule for the race weekend, and he's worked it around it. And that Red Bull don't really care that he's doing it. When asked whether Red Bull had any issues, it is quite an interesting thing to do, though. He partakes in Formula One during the day and then does esports at night, pretty much. He just cannot get enough of motorsports. It is in his blood, that is for sure. Pure Blood saying Yuki is trying to get Danny Ricciardo fired. It's difficult, but you want to perform your best, don't you? As George Russell now starts his final hot lap with 2 minutes and 15 seconds left to go of the session. Ricciardo currently on an outlap, as is Perez, Sainz, Norris, Piastri, Verstappen, and Charles Leclerc. Tsunoda is still in the pit, as is Alex Albon. Russell 0.1 up on Hamilton in the first sector. Bob saying Daniel Ricciardo is too kind to be fired. Unfortunately, kindness does not get you anywhere in Formula One. It is pace that earns you a seat in this sport. It's brutal, but that's Formula One. George Russell 0.4 up on Hamilton's time now. Hamilton also improving on his first sector, not improving enough on his second sector to get close enough to Charles Leclerc, who currently has that top spot. Up to sixth place for George Russell as he crossed the line. Now Hamilton crossed the line up to P7. Hopefully that is safe enough for those two drivers. As Hulkenberg moves himself up into P6 with a 1:15.5. Brilliant lap time for himself. Lance Stroll now, the next driver, approaching that start-finish line. He comes through turn 18. Will he keep it neat and tidy? Getting close to the gravel, but not going into it. Opens his DRS, cross the line, not enough to improve out of the elimination zone, only enough for 13th place. Daniel Ricciardo now will be the next driver to cross the line. Will he get himself out of that drop zone? He crossed the line, gets himself up to P9, just enough. But for the moment, eliminates Sergio Perez. Carlos Sainz now, the driver at risk in P10. Will he be able to get himself out as Verstappen sets the fastest sector 1? Perez down in the first sector. Sainz crossed the line, good enough for P6, best final sector of anyone else out on circuit. What can Sergio Perez do? Norris improves up to third place, 0.04 down on Leclerc's fastest lap time. Perez up on Ricciardo's time in the middle sector, though. Will he knock Ricciardo out? Ricciardo is the driver at risk. Verstappen sets the fastest lap time of the session with a 1:15.1 ahead of Charles Leclerc. But can Perez get himself out? No, he cannot. He crossed the line and cannot improve his time. He is down in P11. A roller coaster of plot twists this weekend, says Bob. Wonder what the race will hold for us. It certainly is a roller coaster with Sergio Perez out in Q2, only in P11 with his teammate Max Verstappen, 0.1 ahead of Charles Leclerc in second. Just watching what could have caused this for Perez, going once again to hard over the curb into turn 14, causing him too much time to be lost. Sergio just saying, what a mess at the end of the session. Certainly not happy with his final qualifying position for the race tomorrow. It is going to be a very difficult session for him, as everyone in the comment section is reacting to the heartbreak of Sergio Perez. Stroll is also out of the session, as is Ocon, Albon, and Gasly. So it will be Gasly in 15th, Albon 14th, Stroll 13th, 12th for Ocon, and Perez starting from 11th place tomorrow. Lindy West says, VCOB, wow, Yuki podium is a definite possibility now. Verstappen seems to have once again found his feet on the soft tyres, as Ricciardo is 0.23 seconds faster than Perez, especially through those low speed corners, and that is where he was able to make up the time in the end. 0.015 was the gap for Perez being dropped out at the end of Q2. Really difficult day for him, unfortunately. Pure Blood saying Hulkenberg deserves a seat at a top team. He certainly does. He is driving the wheels off of that Haas car. Ricardo's just jumped out of the car, I've seen, hopefully for a little bit of a comfort break. Maybe he needs to go to the bathroom or something else. As Gareth Peters saying, Max goes into battle alone. This should be a good race. It certainly will be an interesting race. I didn't think of that in terms of the strategy, because he will be without his rear gunner of Sergio Perez. George Russell saying, I don't know why you sent me out on a new set to start with. Just piles the pressure up unnecessarily for that final lap. Just watching a replay of Yuki Tsunoda's lap. Just looking so composed on the steering wheel is Yuki Tsunoda, so smooth throughout the entire corner. No double jabs anywhere. It was just pure instinct and very, very composed between driver and car. Leonardo Longhi saying Hulk quietly taking the upper half spot as if it is always, or as if it always was his own. So watching from the visor cam of Tsunoda, he is just looking so composed in the car the entire time, and that is why he was able to get that P3 starting spot, or at least for now, he is up in P3. Whether he'll be able to hold on to that in the final qualifying session, we'll have to wait and see. It is going to be very interesting. I think there's going to be a couple drivers or fighting it out for that top spot. Verstappen for now seems to have the upper hand. Whether he'll be able to hold on to that, we'll have to wait and see. But Charles Leclerc will be wanting to take something today for the Tifosi. So just waiting for the start of this final qualifying session this afternoon. Bob saying that Verstappen just needs to get a 1:14 and then Red Bull are secured for tomorrow. Well, I'll have to wait and see. It is still a couple minutes left to go until we get the green flag for the session, as Max Verstappen, for now, looking like he has the upper hand. But can the likes of the McLaren drivers do something about that? Or could the likes of Charles Leclerc or Carlos Sainz have something to say in the matter as well? Just watching Fred Vasseur on the pit box, just waiting for the session to get underway. Jason saying Lewis, after just surviving in both Q1 and Q2, is certainly struggling. Mimi saying, my hopes have been crushed, sadly, but I still have hopes on Lando Norris. Well, we don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe they just haven't been able to string together the best laps as of yet. Hopefully they can do something special in this final session now. Verstappen getting ready to go out on circuit. Tire blankets being taken off of his car, waiting for his race director to send him out, as he is now leaving his garage. Bob also just reacting to both V-Carb cars getting into Q3. Certainly a great session for both of those drivers. Great session for the team, as the green flag is now being shown for the session, and we're getting a whole bunch of drivers out on circuit. We have 12 minutes to go in this final qualifying session. It is crunch time for all of these drivers. Being asked, is Ferrari still on mediums by Mara? No, they certainly are not. They are on a set of soft tyres for their final runs in this Imola circuit. We're seeing Oscar Piastri running out onto the circuit now. And after him goes Carlos Sainz. Chile, comments Putri. Watching the view from Ravazza. Waiting to see whether the Ferrari drivers can put something out there today. Are all of those fans waiting on the banks of Ravazza? All of the Tifosis dressed in red, certainly hoping for a little bit of a miracle from the Ferrari team here today with their new upgrades, the Ferrari version 2.0, as it's being called by a lot. Go Piastri, says Jonathan Penrose. Verstappen now starting his one of his final runs on the soft tire. Defending his run of qualifying poles, looking to get his 7th pole position in a row for the season. 23.4 in the first sector for Verstappen. Waiting for Lando Norris, who is following behind him. 23.6. Best first sector for anyone this weekend is Verstappen in that first sector. Norris not able to match him just yet. Red Bull and Verstappen with their car looking glued to the floor as they come up the hill of Baku Minerali. 49.4 is the first sub 50 I've seen this weekend for the first and for the second sector, as Norris sets a fastest middle sector now for himself. Verstappen coming through 17, bit of a rear slide through turn 18, now really on the edge of the circuit. What does he do at the end? A 1:14.8 with the fastest final sector. What can Lando Norris do in retaliation? He's approaching the line. He takes second with a 1:14.942. Piastri coming through the final sector now as well. Norris within 700ths of a second on Max Verstappen. Tsunoda also now puts himself up into P3. Leclerc also not able to match the likes of Lando Norris and Verstappen. Piastri finishes with the fastest final sector, but not able to match Norris and Verstappen with the 1:15.4. Only Norris and Verstappen currently in the 1:14s. What can Leclerc do? He crossed the line only good enough for, Sainz crossed the line only good enough for fourth place with a 1:15.3. Leclerc now crossed the line with a 1:15.0, so close to the 1:14s. Right now, Verstappen with provisional pole by 0.073 seconds. 7 minutes left of the session. Russell now approaching the final sector. He goes 6th place. Hamilton now crossed the line. Only good enough for 8th. Jason reacts saying, mark my words, Max will not be on pole. We'll have to wait and see, won't we? Verstappen now into the pits. Verstappen faster by 200ths in the first sector, slower by 0.02 in the second, and slower by 0.1 in the third to Lando Norris, but 0.07 up on Norris overall. So close between the top 4. 0.2 seconds splitting those 4 drivers. Verstappen now knows he needs to go faster on his final run, but he has got a brilliant banker lap in for himself, and the evolution of the circuit should help him go faster either way. $460 of you watching alongside with me at the moment. Thank you very much for joining in on the stream. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel as well. And if you are one of our regulars, think about becoming a member on this channel, as it does help us bring you some of the greatest content out here. We are bringing you Formula One content. We're bringing you Moto GP content as well as we, of course, have our other channels bringing you lots of other coverage from a variety of sports. Bob saying Max has a lot of competition. He's either going to be pole by a mile or not even in the top 3. Well, we'll have to wait and see. DMX says yo, and BK says Perez behind both V-carbs right now. Yes, he is. Verstappen just absolutely destroying everyone in the first sector. That is where he has been able to find quite a big chunk of time in his first lap. So currently looking at our first 2 rows of the grid for tomorrow's race. Verstappen and Norris in first and second, Leclerc and Piastri in third and fourth, with 5 minutes now remaining of this session. Samuel saying, what happened to Ricciardo? Ricciardo has not set a lap time just yet. Old Man Roost asking, is Ricciardo going out? And Pureblood saying he possibly only has 1 set of tyres left. That would be a good prediction, or a good shout to think that he possibly only has 1 set left. So waiting for the drivers to head out on their final runs for this qualifying in Imola. The McLarens are removing the tyre blankets, getting ready to send their cars out. The Ferraris also starting to choreograph sending Carlos Sainz out first, and then Charles Leclerc behind, as does the Mercedes of George Russell, who tries to go past the Ferrari, as a lot of drivers all now leaving the circuit. Max Verstappen behind the two Mercedes cars. Currently leading the pack is Carlos Sainz, followed by Yuki Tsunoda. So waiting for these drivers to complete their outlaps at the moment, most of them just leaving the pits now as Charles Leclerc approaches that green light and the pit exit. So Ferrari trying to get their 250th pole in Formula One. Max Verstappen trying to get his 24th. Who will it be today? Currently looking set to go in Max Verstappen's favor. Lando Norris P2, Charles Leclerc currently provisional P3. Verstappen still in the pits, Norris still in the pits, but I am seeing now Norris and Piastri leaving the pit boxes. Verstappen has now left the pits. It is a really long pit lane here in Imola. These final push laps are so crucial for everyone. It could be so close here as we have 2 minutes remaining on the clock. On the clock for the remainder of this session. Bob saying my predictions are almost correct. It just needs to get the order right. Leonardo saying, Bob, that's not what the grid looked like after Q1. So now Carlos Sainz sends it through turn 18 and opens his DRS to start his final qualifying run in Imola. Carlos Sainz through turns 3 and 4. Now turn 5, staying within track limits. Charles Leclerc also now starting his hot lap. Carlos Sainz comes through the first sector, 0.3 down on Verstappen. What can Charles Leclerc do? Waiting for his first sector time to come up now, 0.2 down on Verstappen's time as well. Leclerc needed that improvement there if he was going to fight with Verstappen. Sainz still coming through the second sector now through Acqua Minerale, looking very hooked up. 0.4 down on Verstappen in the middle sector. Leclerc, purple in the middle sector. Verstappen now starting a lap. Will he be able to improve on himself? Leclerc with the fastest sector 2, really close to the gravel. Verstappen now 0.066 up on himself through the first sector. Can he go in even faster? Sainz does not improve his position. Can Charles Leclerc improve his position? Fastest in the middle sector, not able to improve on his lap time. Norris, what can he do? Personal best in the first sector. Verstappen now attacking Acqua Minerale. Looking completely hooked up there. Approaching the middle sector now. 0.4, 0.1 up on himself. Coming through turn 14 and 15. Still super hooked up. Hamilton improves up to P8. Verstappen purple, first and second sector. Norris down in the middle sector. Piastri though, personal best in his first sector. What can he do? Verstappen really on the edge into turn 18. Coming towards the start finish line. Goes even faster with a 114.7. Piastri improves on the middle sector. Gets a purple. Lando Norris, can he improve enough? 0.09 down on Verstappen in the end. He improves to 114.8. Piastri now coming through the final sector. Can he steal pole from Max Verstappen? DRS is open. He goes second, steals it away from Norris. Brilliant from Oscar Piastri, 0.074 behind Max Verstappen. It is looking so close between all of these drivers right now. This should be a very exciting race ahead of us tomorrow. Currently, our first and second positions are Max Verstappen, Oscar Piastri, Lando Norris, Charles Leclerc in P4, Carlos Sainz in P5, George Russell P6, Yuki Tsunoda P7, Hamilton P8, Daniel Ricciardo P9, and Hulkenberg P10. I cannot believe how close it is between Verstappen, Piastri, and Norris, all split by 0.08 seconds. Phenomenal from those top three drivers. Verstappen delivered in the end when it all counts 7 pole positions in a row. Brilliant from the Red Bull driver. Verstappen really happy with that pole position in the end after a difficult weekend. Comes onto the radio just really quite elated with the fact that he was able to get that pole position in the end. Brilliant from Oscar Piastri, brilliant from Lando Norris. It is won by margins here today. Zach Brown in the McLaren garage looking absolutely elated with his team's pace out here today. The Ferraris can also be happy with their turn of pace, but the McLarens certainly look set to have stolen a little bit of the Ferrari's form here in Imola. Narol Porchita saying thank you for the commentary. Thank you very much for joining me here on Forever Motorsports to go through our starting grid one more time for tomorrow's race. Max Verstappen tops the timing sheets with a 1:14.7 ahead of Oscar Piastri by 0.074 seconds. Piastri to Norris, though, in P3 is split by 0.017. So absolutely nothing splitting all of these drivers right now. Leclerc then P4, Sainz P5, Russell P6, Yuki Tsunoda P7, Hamilton 8th, Ricciardo 9th, Hulkenberg 10th, Perez 11th, Ocon 12th, Stroll 13th, Albon 14th, Gasly 15th, Bottas 16th, Zhou 17th, Magnussen 18th, Alonso 19th, and Logan Sargent will be starting all the way from the back of the grid once again in P20. Thank you very much once again for joining me on Forever Motorsports. Be sure to check out the links down in the description to become a channel member if you would like to do so, as well as checking out our channel partner Bitdefender for all of your cyber security needs. But that has been it from me here in Imola. I've been Reese on Forever Motorsports. Cheers.